Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-access presentation by prediction. I'm Ryan Wright, your host from RNG Recruiting News Guru. Tonight, we have IMG Academy four-star linebacker Gavin Nix joining us. Gavin, how's it going this evening?
It's going great, man. Birthday was today, so just early today and enjoyed that with the family and it's a blessing to be on here with you guys tonight. So everything's going well.
We appreciate you jumping on, talking about everything. Before we get going, it's a special day for you. I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Have you done anything to celebrate your birthday today, or what have you done so far, I should ask?
Actually I just trained a lot this morning and then a lot of my family, the tight knit of my family, we all ate at my house and open gifts and things of that nature. So nothing too wild.
It sounds like a lot of fun, regardless. So that's awesome. Well, congratulations again on your birthday. So let's get down to it. Something else to celebrate. IMG, you guys went 10-0 this year, perfect season. Tell us a little bit about that perfect season over there in Bradenton.
It was great. It all started, I would say, tracking all the way back to July when the whole team first got back on campus for fall camp. And people always think the outcome of the season just happens, in the end of the season. We just show up and play. But nah, it's a whole process that goes into that. All of my teammates, we was all committed to, acquiring one common goal. And, it was to go undefeated, and that's what we did. And yeah, it was a great ride. The first 4 games of the season, we were all over the place. We traveled all over the country, so that was great. We played great ball, and the rest we was able to stay down in Bradenton and finish out the season. And we had a great game to finish against St. Francis. So it was a great season. You don't come around a lot of undefeated seasons. So for us to do what we did on the level that we did, it was great.
You guys played a tough schedule, like you said, St. Francis. For you, tell us a little bit about your role in IMG's defensive scheme at linebacker.
Really, it's pretty much just being a leader. The vocal leader for them guys. Just allowing the defense to flow, allowing everybody to do their job, making sure everybody's on the same track, being in the middle of the field, being the mic backer, you got to make sure everybody's right. You got to make sure everybody, is on the same page. You're in charge of all of that. So, my job is to make sure everything that is in check. So, the whole unit can be on the same page. Because if we're not going to be able to roll how we want to. And, defense win ball games. And this defense this year was phenomenal. So I think that was a big part of our success.
So I know you guys get hyped up for St. Francis, and you balled in that game. They have so much talent. For you personally, how did that game go?
Oh, it went great. I had a great game that game. I had 9 tackles, 2 of them were TFLs, and I actually had a sack. So that was great. Like I said, to play a big opponent like that, it's always a different feel, a different, and them being a rival too. So to play an opponent like that and show up for my guys, when they needed me, and in crunch time, with big plays, it was great, man. And games like I said, games like that you'll never forget. It was a very close game, and that was basically our season on the line for that one. So it was fun playing and then being a part of a game like that.
A lot of guys talk about their off-season workouts and talk about the grind, even if they're not really grinding. But I know
Yeah.
you go after it. Not only that, but you go to DB camps and work on your
Yeah.
hips and your ball skills and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about what all you're going to work on this off-season with your game to prepare for your senior year.
Pretty much the same thing I've always been doing. I love to do, a lot of movements, the kind of exotic things in the gym. And then outside of that, like you said, I love working with DBs because I feel like, the game is evolving, from the DB position down, it all translates. DBs have great hips. They like to train hips. They put your hips in uncomfortable positions. So, being a linebacker, I think that's one of the things that helps me tremendously. Being able to move the way I do, it like I said, it all translates from me covering, getting real fancy with defeating blocks. Learning other things coming off the edge. It all translates. So I love working with DBs on that aspect. And got to stay on the track. Speed kills no matter where you play. And every level that you go up the game, gets like 10 times faster. So that's pretty much my formula. Making sure I'm in the weight room, staying with some DBs, and then make sure I'm on the track. So I go real hard on it. Like I said, this morning I was, on my birthday. Even on my birthday, I'm getting in there. So, just working to continue to separate myself.
So, when you talk to different college programs about how you may fit into their scheme, what are they telling you that they like about your skills?
The main thing is probably like my versatility. Last year, I came in IMG playing a whole lot of positions. I played inside and outside linebacker, and I played nickel and strong safety. So my versatility is, a thing that most programs that I talk to loves, and being a versatile player that only ups your stock. So if you play defense, man, all defense is about is getting to the ball at the end of the day. So just be an athlete, go out there and do what you do, and once you put your brains to everything, everything will fall in line. So they love my versatility. This year I've learned so much in the game. So, when I'm able to talk to them and able to catch on to things in their scheme that we do, it's very impressive when I'm able to, talk the same terminology and things of that nature. So they love, really my brains and, my versatility for the game and the feel that I have for the game, my instincts and things of that nature.
Buckle up, sports fans, because All Access is throwing you onto the field with our interactive video podcasts. All Access isn't highlights and recaps. It's live Q&A with your favorite players. You're not just watching the show, you're in the show. This is sports the way it should be. Raw, passionate, and interactive. Grab your webcam and mic, lace up your virtual cleats, and join the sports revolution where you're not just a spectator, you're the ultimate fan. We are All Access.
So, Gavin, let's make that turn. We talked a little bit about how the colleges, what they like about your game. Now let's talk about some of the colleges. How many total offers are you holding right now?
I have 23.
That's awesome. Fantastic. And then I know there's some schools that are showing interest. Which schools are showing interest but haven't offered you yet?
I'll probably say the ones that I'm probably have the greatest relationship with I have is probably Ohio State, Georgia. I'll probably say Missouri. Those are three big timers that I talk to a lot that has an offer.
That's awesome. So this fall, did you take unofficial visits, game day visits? If so, where all did you go?
Yeah, I took a few unofficials. I went to USC versus Baylor, Florida versus Tennessee. I went to the FSU versus LSU game down in the Camping World, and I actually seen. I went back to Florida and watched them play Florida State at the end of the season. So that's all I went in. That's all I was able to go to in season. So it was great. The college atmosphere is always a great thing to be a part of. Especially like for example the FSU Florida game. It's great to be a part of a Florida rival. Well, go see, not be a part, but go see one. So yeah, all of them games though were great games. Good to go experience that. So those are four that I went to in season.
When you go on a visit, I know it's a little bit different on a Saturday during the season because you don't get that much time typically with the coaches. But what is important for you when you go on these visits, and even when you go on visits this off season? What's important for you to learn or to soak up experience while you're there on campus?
The biggest thing, when they have days when we can really like interact with the coaches, the biggest things I want to learn is, try to soak up knowledge from the guys, the assistants and the GAs, people who don't pay a lot of attention to. I like to talk to them guys to learn things about the scheme, learn things just general help they can give me on like, watching film or guys to study, little things like that. Those guys are always around to help me with things like that. But as far as like when I'm talking to defensive coordinators and things of that nature, I like to learn their schemes. I like to see how at IMG we our schemes relate to a lot of the colleges out there. So I like to see how does our scheme relate to theirs. Do they have similar plays that we have? I like to see things like that. Just to see, how much I'm really being taught, and how quickly I can catch on to things. Because you can never get too much of a head start. So I like to put myself in that that tough situation and learn things some college guys are learning.
Always a competitor, challenging yourself. I love it. Um, all right. So you took those visits. Are there any visits coming up in the new year that you know you're going to take or would like to take?
We don't have nowhere for sure yet, but we were talking. Well, I'm with my dad. We're talking to Michigan State, Tennessee, Michigan, Ohio State, and I think that and Texas. So we're trying to get up north and see the northern schools. Being a Florida native, seeing pretty much everything down here. We're trying to get up north, see all those schools for my junior year, and yeah, those are schools that I'll probably hit this off season. But nowhere solidified, no solidified dates or nothing yet.
So the Texas, Tennessee, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State. Will all those be your first time visiting those programs?
Yeah, those will actually all be my first time.
So Texas, storied program. What has you excited about going to Austin, or the potential to go to Austin?
Yeah, it's really their recruiter for Braden City is Coach Choice. That's their running backs coach. Great guy. He's really he's really a big reason that I want to go down there and visit. I actually have two teammates who's actually up there right now for bowl practices. They actually just left. They graduated this year and just left for bowl practices. So I heard a lot of intel. You know, talking with them. They had a linebacker coach that was there that I was building a great relationship with. He's not there no more, but Coach Choice, he's like, I have a real tight knit relationship with him, and he's like a great down to earth, humble type of guy, and I just love the coach he is. He's been in the league, so there's um a lot of tips he can give me. He played the opposite position to me, playing running back, so it's most definitely a lot I can learn from him. So yeah, he's really something that attracted me to go down there and check it out, and I've been able to talk to Coach Sharp, the head coach, here and there, and they just it's always good vibes with them. They seem like real good people, so I just want to go up there and see what that's about.
I think everybody loves Coach Choice. I've never heard anybody not say nice things about him for what that's worth. So Ohio State, that's another big program. Might go up there. What has you excited to go up there and learn more about the Buckeyes?
I'd probably say really like the tradition. Ohio State has always been prestigious, for what they do. And I've been building great relationships with Coach Knowles, that's in DC, and just just wanting to put all the pieces together. Like I said, we've been talking for some months now, and I just want to get up there and experience that.
Buckle up, sports fans, because All Access is throwing you onto the field with our interactive video podcasts. All Access isn't highlights and recaps. It's live Q&A with your favorite players. You're not just watching the show, you're in the show. This is sports the way it should be. Raw, passionate, and interactive. Grab your webcam and mic, lace up your virtual cleats, and join the sports revolution where you're not just a spectator, you're the ultimate fan. We are All Access.
The Florida schools are all over you, right? So I know they're after you. Like you mentioned, you've gone to Florida State, Florida, UCF. I know Miami's after you as well. Will you tell me a little bit about the relationship with the Miami Hurricanes? What's that like?
Oh, it's great. This great relationship with them, man. Coach, I actually was able to see Coach D Nick, the linebackers coach, last week. Talked to him for a good time, but they the hospitality down there is great, man. Like their staff is really tight. Like when you're talking to Miami, you're talking to like more than one person. Like you're gonna be talking to a few people on the staff. So I love that about them. And like it's just great. Every time I go down there, they show me out to a good time. Um and yeah, man, our relationship has been building. They were the first school to offer me And, even throughout the staff changes and all that, like their level of interest has never, changed for me. They've always shown me love and all that. So I always appreciate that for them. So it's that relationship I have with Miami has been great.
A quick reminder to the fans, hit that raise your hand button if you want to ask Gavin a question about recruiting, his offseason workouts, or his 2023 regular season. Keeping with Miami, and I'm sure you get this quite a bit, and maybe kind of, tired of asking about it, but there is a pipeline that Coach Cristobal has developed to IMG Academy. What is it like having guys that, you were on the grind with a year ago that are there with the Canes now? What kind of feedback are you getting from them? And does that play a part in how you look at Miami? Or I know there's some guys at Florida too, but any program that has that IMG connection?
Yeah, most definitely. Not even that, even guys that, I might have known before IMG was in college. That's always a good view or aspect of somebody that I can, dig into to see how it is, because they really go through the real. Like they go through the real, and what goes, the ins and outs on what goes in, to the process of however that school may navigate. But for Miami, for example, like Francis Mongoa, played with him, was a dog in high school. He's doing the same things in college. He just got a ACC freshman All-American. So it's great, man. And, the things they say about Miami is all good. The program's most definitely back on the rise. They've been building something great down there. And one thing I also love, which they love too, is their alumni. Like is like they're on campus. Like that's one school where like their alumni is gonna be there, whether they're on staff or they just around just to mentor the guys and all that. So I think that's been one thing that's been benefiting them greatly. Like to have all these first rounders, not even first rounders, just guys who've been in the league for, NFL vets and all that, just to school these young guys up, because, they're trying to get to the same place that, the guys at the NFL did. So that's really good.
So going to stay in state. What about the Florida Gators? You visited the Swamp. Tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are of the atmosphere there, and your relationship with the coaching staff.
Oh, it's great. They actually, my relationship with them, mainly Coach Bateman, because they've had a few staff changes since they first offered me. But Coach Bateman, he came and offered me very young, and he's never wavered. Like our relationship is still tight. Still talk to him to this day, and it's great. That's why I always go back and visit him. He has a great linebacker in his room, so that's good. He has a few, and that's good to see that his work, is really, paying off, and he's teaching his guys the right things. It's good to see when a coach has a lot of guys producing. That's always a good sign for a recruit. So yeah, he's a great coach, and our relationship is most definitely great. So yeah.
So Florida State is another team I know is after you. You visited them. So they had that undefeated regular season. Does that play the way Mike Norvell has turned that program back around? How does that influence you when you're looking at them?
It's great. Coach Norvell, he's been doing something really special down there. Um, he obviously as a recruit, that's always an attractive thing to see. But yeah, man, just like the same, just like you said, I would, me being a Florida native, I'm real tight with all the Florida schools, and Florida State, man, I can pretty much say the same thing, man. It's great staff. Love what they're doing down there, especially on the defensive aspect. Their defense has played lights out this year. Especially in their last game against Louisville. They played an amazing game of football. So, that's a great thing to see for me. Same like family aspect. I'm not just talking to one coach or a few coaches. I'm talking to like the whole staff. I like that. Knowing that they all in on me. So they most definitely stepping in the right direction, and I'm glad that they are doing that, because they where they've been and where they've been able to get back to now. That's great for them. So yeah, it's all good for the state.
Buckle up, sports fans, because All Access is throwing you onto the field with our interactive video podcasts. All Access isn't highlights and recaps. It's live Q&A with your favorite players. You're not just watching the show, you're in the show. This is sports the way it should be. Raw, passionate, and interactive. Grab your webcam and mic, lace up your virtual cleats, and join the sports revolution where you're not just a spectator, you're the ultimate fan. We are All Access.
Last question on recruiting here, Gavin. Many may not know you're originally from the Orlando area. UCF, I know, like all these other schools want you badly. What is that feeling of being, as they term the marketing campaign, hometown hero? How does that play into the idea of you maybe going back to Orlando and playing in front of your friends and family?
That's a great pitch to me. A lot of the guys on the staff on the team I've actually played with in Little League. So guys like John Walker, Andrew Harris, Tavion Sweat, he's actually committed. He's not there yet, but guys like that, like we all played together, coming up, training, all that. That's a few more guys. So that's a good thing about UCF too. I like how they're keeping that. They're keeping the local guys, the big local guys there. So I love that too. And the biggest thing that attracts me is really Coach Sims. Coach Sims, that's my guy. He's a great dude. Like, outside of just being a coach, he's a great man. Most of these guys gonna be good coaches and stuff, but he's a really good man, and that attracts me to him. He's he really, besides football, he really helps his guys excel off the field, and that's one great thing about what he does. So to me, playing in my hometown wouldn't be a bad thing at all.
So you may not have anything solidified yet, but do you have anything coming up? Top schools list? Are you, with your recruiting process, do you know that you want to take, let's say, the old number of 5 official visits? Have you started kind of piecing together your recruiting plan going forward?
Yeah. So as far as top schools go, I want to get that done. Sometime this off season, and then as far as official visits go, I'll probably get those going right after my spring. So that break before that break in summer, right before fall camp, I want to knock them all out so I can be all locked in. But going into my senior year, so I can be done with recruiting, don't have that stress here. So yeah, I wanna. That's God willing. That's the plan.
Looking for a summer commitment. All right, Gavin. Well, I think I've occupied enough of your time on your birthday. I appreciate you answering all my questions. You've been fantastic. Are you doing anything fun with the rest of your evening? Gonna go hang out, go with family, watch a movie? What do you got going on?
Sure, nah, man. This I'm a pretty basic chill, guys. Getting late, even though it's break, it's never no break for me. So I'm right back at it, getting back up early, back on the grind. So I'm probably just gonna chill for the rest of the night, go to sleep soon, and keep the same process flowing for tomorrow.
All right, Gavin. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and we'll have to catch up with you here soon, see how all of these off-season visits are going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you having me, and for everybody who joined, I appreciate you guys' time, and it was a blessing being able to talk tonight.